here. So before we jump into all of the details, I wanted to introduce myself. So to make sure that you know who I am, I'm not sure if you're joining the webinar from LinkedIn or Instagram or any other source. Let me know in the chat. I would love to hear how we connected. And about myself, I'm certified career coach. I'm supporting professionals in the middle and senior career with landing in their jobs, with developing their career, but also with building their confidence. Because what I see very often is that confidence is kind of the blocker to get the role you deserve, to get the salary you deserve, to quit this toxic job. I have a corporate experience in many different companies, and I saw it so many times that people are not always happy. While I see other people and they are very happy and satisfied with the corporate job. So we don't have to say like corporate job is always bad or like, no, it can be amazingly satisfying. It can be super well paid, but you have to be sure that you have the power to go for what you want in your career. And my mission is to help you build this confidence and land in the job that you really, really deserve. I have very various background. As a recruiter, I worked more than 5 years in recruitment on site of Amazon, but also little recruitment agency. So completely two different point of views, but all for senior roles. So this would gave me all of this base. And then I made my certification. I decided to go full time into being career coach. I'm also having experience as onboarding facilitator. I've been also working a lot with public speaking, being radio speaker. I also worked in external affairs, in public relations, social media. That's why I'm always so conscious about how we build relationships, how we present ourselves, because it's really important the way we build relationships and the way we build trust. So this is little something about myself. I see that some of you are connected with me through LinkedIn and some from Instagram. And I already see the first question, does it really exist a corporate job that is satisfying? After my previous experience, I have lost faith, to be honest. So yes, this is possible. However, you can have this guarantee always from, like applying somewhere and making sure from the beginning it will be perfect job for you. That's why when you get to the further steps, when you get to the interview, it's so important to like double check to make sure that this job is answering for all of your needs, that this will be the job that will be answering your career aspirations, your working life balance, your salary expectations, all of that. What's more, we have to make sure even before interview that we are building this job search strategically. That's why we want to avoid any random applying, any applying for companies we hear about PR about, we know they are not the best employer, and then we are like, okay, anyway, we want to go for it. If we are doing it for a certain reason, then go for it. But I'm just saying to have the expectations aligned with kind of reality and what we can expect. I hope it helps, Christina, but if you have any other questions, feel free to ask, of course. Right, so you get little something about myself and about my experience. Of course, I ask you like how we connected. If you don't follow me yet on Instagram or LinkedIn, you're more than welcome to say hi on both. I'm posting every single day. And now let's get started. Okay, this is little agenda for today, since agenda is everything, and I want you to know what we will be working on today in this quick and informative, hopefully, webinar. So we will go through research, how to get to know about the company and the role before your interview to make sure you present yourself from the best possible way. Practice, practice, practice. So how to really prepare for this job interview, and then job interview by itself, how to do it to land in your job. Because first of all, when you're already in job interview, it means something good. It means they are interested in your profile. It means you probably check all of the basic qualifications and they want to dive deeper into your experience. They want to dive deeper into your motivation and they want to really check if you are the great candidate for them. But remember, you're also the one who will interview them and check if they are the right employer for you. Okay, Here we are if it comes to how to do the research for about the company and about the role. And it might seem obvious, but trust me, if you will have many job interviews and you have them in different companies, you want to prepare the best, ChatGPT is the place to go. I'm not saying to use it to like learn answers for interview and be like very robotic, but for sure to write with the right template of texting to ChatGPT, asking the right questions and diving deeper about knowledge about the company, this is the way to go. Company website, of course, they always have this part about us where you can learn more about the company values, the company history, the company culture, and CEO and many other awards and interesting insights. Company social media, obviously, we live in an era of social media. You can learn through there. Sometimes it may be more human approach because you can see some reels or videos. Then you can obviously do the basic Google research. See the Glassdoor insights. Check the opinions, what people are already speaking about this company. It's not only about their opinions and seeing the gossip and spilling the tea. It's also about learning more because you might see more insights how they are operating in those teams. How is this company having management style? How strict they are? And then you can go through LinkedIn profiles. You can check people who are already employed in similar roles that you are going to, and you can basically learn more through networking. This is the best pro tip when preparing for interview. If you have interview in 1 week or 2 weeks, you can still very calmly connect with someone from the potentially your team and learn more, but not through asking them for advice, just genuinely learn more about their work. And YouTube. I'm a very big fan of YouTube. When I was joining Amazon, I spent like 3 full days watching YouTube videos about Amazon, learning about Jeff Bezos, Andy Jassy, and all of that. And it helped me a lot. I mean, eventually I got an offer. So I think I did something right for sure. I see a question for Paolo. Do you ever research not only the job role, but also the recruiter, someone just to need grab your attention? Yes, for sure. This is really great because then you know who will be you speaking with. And maybe it is really helpful, especially if you are more senior experience and it might be situation they were working where you are working currently, for example. So then you have to be even more conscious about how you explaining your experience because you will already know, like, okay, they already know my organization, they work there. And trust me, it happens so often, especially if you go to big tech like Tesla, Amazon, Google, etc. Those people can work in so many different places. And I see they are so busy with all of the applications. Yeah, I wouldn't connect with recruiters necessarily. I meant networking with professionals from the team, not really with recruiters. Right. I hope this answer helps, Paulo. If not, let me know to clarify your question if it was regarding something else. Um, Tell me more about yourself. We hear this question always during the job interview, so it's something we really have to be prepared for. There is no way to skip it. There is no way to avoid it. And it's tricky because it's like, should I say about my personal life, my hobbies, my job, all my job history? I have 10 years of experience. Should I like list all the jobs? Like, no, they have your resume for that. They have your LinkedIn profile. This is time to give them this nutshell kind of summary of all of your experiences, how many years of experience you have in total, relevant experience for this role. Why are you kind of excited and passionate about this role, even though it's not questioned directly about your motivation, but to give them already the feeling, to already build the trust that you're really, really motivated to join this role, to join this company. And it's not like coincidence or something that you are on this job interview. I see the question about the best way to get the interviews in other companies, even if it's so competitive. This type of questions, let's leave for the end if we have time, because I want to make sure we go through all of it. And yeah, let's go for the next part. But thank you so much for asking, and definitely go ahead with asking all of the questions in here. All right, answering every question should be definitely strategical. So sometimes on interview, you might have this feeling that it's very friendly. and it's more like casual interview. And even sometimes my clients are telling me, Marta, I joined this interview and it was so nice. I felt like we are friends. It will be like, very friendly kind of working atmosphere. I felt more open. And here is the hack from them. If they are that friendly, it's amazing, but you have to remember it's job interview. It's a business transaction. It's not your coffee chat with friends. You have to be honest, you have to build trust, but be professional, stay diplomatic, don't share unnecessary personal information if you know that they might not be the best for you during the recruitment process. What I mean by that, you don't have to necessarily share them why you didn't like your current employer or past boss or manager, or what family plans you have or holidays plans, or that in 2 years you actually want to have your own business and you don't care about this job anymore after some time. Well, this is my best advice, to be very, very careful with these type of answers. And it's something that you can definitely make to bring the eyes, to make, it a bit more personal, but still remember to be very professional. Right, STAR method for success. And this is extremely, extremely difficult. I've been recruiting for Amazon and every single interview was with STAR method. What's more, candidates who were directors, very senior managers, even for international, companies, and if they had this experience, this amazing experience, I already can see from their resume, right? They got it, like they have the good background and they come for interview, they are not following STAR, guess what happens? Disaster, basically. This is not a way to go, because those, especially big companies, they have very strict structure for their interviews, and they basically can't move people forward, even perfect matches for the roles, if their answers are not structured. Because imagine how someone will manage very responsible, complex things in the company, budgets, teams, etc., if they can't simply structure their answers. It's kind of the red flag, to be really honest. I can understand reasons of that, of recruiters and hiring managers. And STAR, if you are not familiar, I see Paolo is definitely familiar, because you're saying I love STAR, and this is big bravo for you, because it's definitely important. It is very important to make sure you always prepare with your experiences from your examples from your experience with this structure. So going through situation, task, action, result. And what is extremely important, use data in your answers. So when you are explaining the situation, you start with circumstances, maybe what was the problem, maybe what was the timeline, what is important for them to basically understand that starting point. Use data. Already share some numbers, percentage, whatever. If it's something what's working, not working, is expected from you, or the opposite, it is necessary to share data. Then make sure to say task very clearly. You can even use the word task, so they know you're moving for the second part. And what was expected from you? Like, what was this deadline? What did you have to do? How did you have to change or improve situation? What was needed from you to be done for stakeholders or customers, or even just for your manager if it was more one-to-one situation? And action. Don't be shy. Say I, not we. Because however team player skills are important, even more is important how you take ownership of your work and you take responsibility of your achievements. So what actions did you take? What exactly did you do? You, not you and all of your team. And then obviously results. So what was the outcome from this situation? What was the success? If there was not 100% success, then what was the learning? But sharing learning rather than success, I can only recommend if you are answering for very challenging questions, or if you're applying for internship or kind of graduate role. If you are in your senior experience, I wouldn't go too much into sharing your weaknesses or kind of failures. and share some data. Again, this time to prove that you really know how to improve this situation, achieve those goals, and share all of the best for your customer, your team, your manager. How can we address failure in an interview? Let's say you've got involved in a project, yet the result were most as expected. So you can share failure for sure, like you can share this situation where there was a challenge, but always that eventually you nailed it. Don't share it as a failure to like have this result when you are explaining with star method and be like, okay, like we really failed, we didn't meet target, we didn't meet KPIs, customers like start our subscription because they were so disappointed, and my manager even had consequences with senior management because I didn't meet my KPIs. Don't say things like that. You can say that there was a challenge, there was kind of the failure in the process, but you made the best of it. How did this making, like, it is even better sometimes answering questions like that than directly answering questions about your biggest successes, because this way you can be like, it was such a challenge. This situation looked like there is no way to go, and we made it, we nailed it anyway. And then recruiters are like, wow, this is amazing. You are very focused, like problem solved oriented. You're really focused on delivering results, taking ownership of your failures, of challenges. This is extremely, extremely important. So just always be, again, diplomatic, strategical. Remember this job interview, and it is about your strengths more than weaknesses, for sure. Right, very important topic, salary expectations. And whenever you come to this point on your job interview, don't share your current salary. Make sure it's more like answering about your expectations, or even more asking them of the salary range. In case if the question is, what are your salary expectations? You can always be like, I would really love to learn first about the range of the salary you're having in here, so I can understand like how my expectations can match the opportunity you're having in here. And then when they push back and they're like, no, we want your to say your salary expectations, you can be like, all right, for other roles that I'm currently in a recruitment process, I'm having this and that kind of offers, or salary ranges are in this point. So you share them kind of salary, but at the same time you give this moment of competitiveness that like they have to fight for you because you're already in other recruitment processes. Never share your current salary. This is the thing which is really important, and also like it is illegal in most of the countries, at least in Europe. Check the law in your country. Like I don't know law of every single country with personal information sharing, but what I know for sure, like in many countries, it's illegal to ask you directly what salary you have right now, as well as like, are you planning to have family? Do you gonna be pregnant? Like, no, they can't ask you these kind of things. It's not a doctor, it's interviewer. We have to really remember to also set boundaries, because if we don't set them during the job interview and we are hired, that might be complicated later on. Okay. I see some more questions are coming. Let's move with kind of presentation, because we are always almost going to the Q&A part, and then I will answer your questions if that's fine. But if you have more questions, make sure to save them so I can answer later. Okay, interview is also for yourself. This is something I can't stress enough, that you're also in charge of decision. It's not like you're waiting for offer, they give you offer, you just accept. No, you make sure this is the right offer for you, it's the right company for you. How do you make sure about it, other than making all of the steps we discussed at the beginning, like research, checking the opinions, Glassdoor, social media, LinkedIn, everything? You ask the right questions during the job interview. And yes, it is important to ask questions to understand like motivation that you have to join the role. So it's kind of green flag for recruiter or hiring manager, because when you ask questions, they're like, oh, they are clearly so interested in joining this role that they have so many questions. So nice, so cool. But at the same time, genuinely think about questions you have, things that you want to find out, because it's crucial for your decisions of getting this job. But of course, even if you ask about opportunities of growing in the role, don't ask like, okay, so then like after how much time I can make lateral move and change role completely. Because those questions are red flags, because they already know you want to quit, you want to change, you don't like this role, you're not motivated. But it's different if you ask this type of question the way, how many opportunities do you have for my growth and development in this role in this team? How many opportunities do you have for growth for employees in general in the company? This sounds different. And here are some of the questions I'm always sharing on my Instagram and on LinkedIn, some of my favorite ones that can show your motivation and help you understand that this is the right role for yourself. So don't hesitate to take a screenshot of those questions and make sure to adapt them to, again, your needs and what you want to find about this role and this employer. One of my favorite is to ask what is the most important to accomplish during the first 30, 60, 90 days. It is also an amazing question to ask on your first one-to-ones when you're already employed, to your manager, to your stakeholders, to your team. Do the same way. Obviously, you have to adjust it a little bit, but like make sure you're very like customer obsessed. You are very obsessed with delivering the best, with building relationships, and you want to understand what they expect from you. What are your KPIs? You can, of course, on the job interview ask about every single KPI because it's kind of confidential in most of companies, but you definitely can ask this type of question. Also, what is the biggest challenge that company is facing right now? If it's a big company and you see news every single day, you can, of course, make this question more specific to this news, to this company. Then you can, of course, ask about the leadership style of this manager. This might be really important because it can give you the knowledge how you should prepare for interview with your potential manager, so hiring manager. And you can also ask how to define success in this role. And this is the great question for the second round of interview. So for the interview with hiring manager. What's more, you can ask always, what is your favorite aspect, leadership principle, value, like any kind of thing that you want to find out. What, for example, when you speak with recruiter, be like, what is the favorite thing about working in this place for you? What do you enjoy most working there? Or you see recruiters 5 years already in this company, or like, what made you work here 5 years? Like 5 years is a lot. Like, what's amazing about this company, other than I know already, but from your practice of already being employed there, that it's so great to work in there. And what skills are most important to be successful in this role? There are so many questions always on my like socials, and people are asking, can I ask like what so far is the blocker to hire me, or something like, kind of feedback question. Like many companies have policy of no feedback and they wouldn't say it. So for example, if they realize you need visa, they don't sponsor visa, they can't tell you, oh, you need visa, we don't sponsor visa, unless it's another situation and they are very open asking you, do you need visa support, because we don't offer visa support. And then you say you need visa and that's clear, they can't support it, just as an example. But if it's something about your communication style, for example, or something like that might be also seen as feedback, but at the same time you might use it as bias, they wouldn't share this feedback because they have to protect themselves, so they won't meet you in court after 1 month because they were not inclusive or whatever. Okay, so you can't make the first impression twice. And job interview is definitely your chance to build this trust with both, with recruiter, with hiring manager. It is extremely important to take your time for preparation, for showing yourself from the best side. You can be your true self always. Just remember that it's professional. The same time. Right. Oh, I'm so sorry. There's like meeting upgrade. So we have 10 minutes left. this is kind of the checklist that I would advise you to do before every single job interview. So it's like your introduction, how you speak about yourself, how you go with this small talk, even answering question, how are you doing? Like you can say, hi, I'm fine, how are you? Or you can be like, I'm very excited for this opportunity to speak today with you about this role. I'm already connected with some potential colleagues from the team, and I'm so excited about the projects they're working today. So I'm so happy to learn more about this opportunity today. And it's already getting a bit more of professional tone. So again, even if recruiters are friendly, it's business transaction, detail oriented. Listen carefully. It happens so often that candidate will take 5 minutes speaking about something else. And recruiter can be also extremely rude and be like, oh, stop, this wasn't the question. Like, this is very tricky. If you didn't understand the questions, better to double check and just ask them if this is what they meant, rather than just go and spend time of answering about something else. Data proof. Always prove everything with data, especially if this is data-driven company, you have to prove everything with numbers. And I'm not joking, this is that important. Salary and benefits, do not ask them about them too fast, do not make them impression. I just want to join this company because I want to have Amazon Prime for free at Amazon. Also, it's not the case, but I'm just saying as an example. Questions to ask. This is again very important for you as for candidate, but also for them to see your motivation. Again, if you want a screenshot of this page, do it. I'm also recording this webinar, so hopefully I can share it with you after all. And now it's time for your questions. So let's get to it. Let's go from the first. If the company posts a salary range in the job description, should we avoid saying we are looking for the top of the range? No, you definitely can say it, especially if you know it's not just like I want a lot of money, but it's like you have experience for this salary. You made your research of not only this company but the market, and you see that their highest salary range is what you could also get in other companies. Then why wouldn't you go for the highest? Like always go for what you deserve. Seriously. How about recruiters? They do ask what are your salary expectations when we are being approached by them. Yes, and this is really tricky. And I know it's not nice experience, Christina, but unfortunately, most of them will not tell you this salary. If they are not willing to, they won't. You can push back, as I said, it's for you as for candidate, it's always better to know their range rather than share your expectations, obviously. But on another hand, this is also, even if their salary is not transparent, there are so many information on the internet that you can do this research and like get kind of the knowledge what salaries they have. Very important. Check location, because the same company, the same role can have completely different salaries for different locations. Check the taxes, because this will have impact on your salary at the end of the day, and your years of experience, because some companies have similar roles and then completely different salaries. If there are a way we can ask for proof of the data you're providing during the interview, for example, savings, because this number can easily made up. Oh, all right. This is very good question. I think it's also like if they can check something, like they can check, but job interview shouldn't be about lying. It's all about building trust. So if you're sharing some numbers, like they don't have to be exact the same, because maybe you don't remember. So you can just like, okay, it was circa 50%, for example, but don't make things up, because sooner or later you will get lost in what you're saying, and we want you to get the job because of your experience, not because of anything else. How to answer the career break due to maternity leave or any other personal reason? This is the good question. I mean, all of those questions are great, but if something is your personal information, you don't have to explain it with details, because this is your personal information. And recruiters should actually respect that, especially for reasons like that, because it's not reasons like they can see it, all right, someone was not employed for such a long time. Clearly, they did something wrong in their job. No, you are spending time with family, you are doing your very private things, and that should be respected. At times, I don't make it through the interview. Oh, this is a long question. We won't read out loud all. We need to keep in mind giving HR interview, don't too technical or something like that. This is a difficult question. I'm not sure if I understand fully the question, to be really honest. Like, it was like specific situation, the one with Amazon, or like if you could make it like as a sum up question, that would be perfect, so I'm able to answer it like quicker and give value also for others. If there are any way recruiters can ask for proof the data. Okay, we went through this one. Okay, do you have any other questions? Because I'm seeing we answered all of them, if I'm correct. If it comes to the question about Amazon, if I understood correctly, the initial interview is always with recruiters in most big tech companies. It's not with HR. HR is for employers. For candidates, they are recruiters. And then, yes, and then there is this interview with a hiring manager, and preparation should be slightly different. I agree with this point. How to answer the career break? Okay, sorry, I'm answering the same question again. So I think we can close Q&A and move to the bonus part. And I have something very, very exciting for you. So you can let me know what is, how you feel about this part. Okay, so.
Quick question. Quick
Yeah.
question. I were you able to answer the part where I'm not sure if you answered it. It was how do you get an interview from other companies when it's very competitive to even get an interview?
Oh, all right. So if it comes to getting the interview part, then I would have to explain basically all of the job search strategy. That's why I'm having this next part, which I think will help with your question. So basically, your job search has to be extremely strategical. If you want to get this interview, and there are hundreds of applicants per job and only 3% getting through to job interview, not even offer, job interview. So if you want to make sure it will be you, you have to have very great strategy and very strong networking and personal branding. And I can definitely help you with that, because I'm having this 3-month career coaching program to make sure that you can land in your job, not only successfully, but also faster. So basically in 90 days, you can land in your new job. This is 100% personalized program. It's one-to-one session, so fully for you, not just for the group as we are doing it right now. You have my 100% of attention during all of those 3 programs, 3 months. And we speak between all the sessions as well. What is there for you? It's if you're struggling to get this job interview. So exactly for your questions, the last question you were asking me, if you struggle, if you don't know how to get there, how to apply, should you apply? Should you ask for recommendations? Should you network? There are so many questions, right? So I will help you with that. I got you. And I will make sure that you will have this strategy to develop your career if you are not having the job right now, or if you are not satisfied in your job, or if you're feeling like I'm not earning how I should earn, and you feel like I don't want to quit 9 to 5, I want to continue my career, like I just need the right job. I got you. This is exactly what we will be working during this program. If you're stressed about getting a new job and you feel like I can't make it, I'm not sure how to get this job, this is exactly what we will be working for and all about. This is exactly what you will achieve. You will have your confidence, you will have the strategy, and you will have all you need to get this new role. And we are having the literally last 1 minute. You will have an email with me with all of the summary. Make sure to follow me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, if you want, also on YouTube and TikTok.